Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Lucas and Ash are the Lotto Boys, the Birmingham Afrobeats rap duo that burst onto the scene in 2016 to find a lot of success with songs like No Don, Birmingham, FaceTime, Hitlist, Bim Bam and Did It Again. After they dropped their first single, they then went on to link up with artists like Chip, having viral songs hitting about 100 million streams in all. They combined their Birmingham accents with Afro beats and also called it their own type of genre in their EP, which was called Afrobean. In the background and the alleged mastermind, as he says it himself in his interview with ADTV, that's Amaru Don TV. Go and check out his interview with Big Math. It's a very good interview, and if you're an artist or you're in the music industry, you can learn a lot from the sort of stuff that he's talking about. Because through 2017, Lotto Boyzz had nothing but success. Everything they touched just turned to gold, and it seemed like there was unstoppable, and there was going to be the first Birmingham duo to really push the Afrobeat sound internationally. But heading into 2018, suddenly things just started to drop off a bit. There was arguments, disputes and all this sort of crack started to show in April the 1st, 2018, when the Lotto Boyzz actually cancelled their nationwide tour, claiming that health reasons was why they did it. Fans were left devastated and had to take a refund on the tickets. This automatically started people wondering what was going on with the Lotto Boyzz and why, and was there any deeper issues. And then shortly afterwards, Big Math announced their breakup, that he would not be managing the Lotto Boyzz on Instagram. And this sent shockwaves through the scene. Nobody knew what was going on, and nobody really clarified it. Lucas or Ash didn't really talk about what was going on, what the problems were, being as there was in a record deal with Sony at the time. It wasn't until a couple of months ago that Big Math actually came out and spoke on ADTV. He claimed it. He said in the interview that basically in 2018, Lotto Boyzz was pretty much broke. There was all bickering because the Sony they wanted to get out of a messy deal they had with Sony for some reason, where they couldn't just release songs whenever they wanted to. They had to wait for next moves. This was actually delaying them and also starting to make them a little bit irrelevant. Math explains that he started to develop problems with both Ash and Lucas, and small disagreements with Lucas's friend, who was also in charge of the money of the band. When they got to a point where there was no money, Math also says in the interview, where he laughs initially as he says it, that Ash was in a car with him and actually crying about the fact they had absolutely no money.
The week before the boot camp of the show, I remember Ash being in a car with me and crying because he was saying that, bro, we're broke.
So I have no idea the ins and outs of this, but at the same time, when you talk in the amount of streams these guys were doing and the amount of shows they was getting over that year period, to then end up in 2018 with no money, obviously something hasn't been managed correctly somewhere along the line. He also stated that when he left, there was also a £90,000 TuneCore payment that had finally gone through, and he was taken out of that deal due to reasons I'll explain now. Math also made the accusation in the actual interview that he writ certain lyrics for Lucas, and also songs including Bad Vibes and other verses. But he said when he spoke on Instagram to announce their breakup and he wasn't managing them no more, he said that in a clause that they had made in a contract that removed him any percentage of publishing rights, so he lost his publishing rights for the tracks. For me, this would be quite shocking if it is true, because at the end of the day, legally he has no claim to any of their publishing. So for me to say that he did write any of their songs, they could actually say something about that, because they own the publishing. He said in the interview he does not own any of the copyrights no more, when he claimed to be the masterminds and the brains behind it. This interview did a bit of damage for Lotto Boyzz. For example, when I was looking around at the other interviews to find out what they've been up to, very little viewed interviews as well, that due to the fact of them just being on themselves, and I don't think they was promoting themselves themselves in the same way. A lot of comments where people are calling them snakes because Big Math was saying that they ripped him off and finessed him, but Lotto Boys were saying that Big Math finessed them. Big Math admitted that he was taking 30% of as manager when the average manager would take about 20%. But he claimed that was because he was paying for other stuff. He was paying for extras. He was directing music videos and doing a lot of the marketing and the PR. So he claimed that his extra 10% was justified. So I imagine this really angered the Lotto Boys in some way or another, and they was trying to bite their tongue. But shortly afterwards in February, Lucas in an Instagram live with two other friends in a car starts having an argument with Math on his Instagram live, where Math is telling him why are you talking about me, and Lucas starts to express the way that he feels about Math, calling him basically a waste man along them lines.
Waste man for life. Like, stop it. Like, stop fooling yourself. Come in here as yourself, as you have been for these last couple weeks, bro. Like, stop using fake accounts to ask questions that you want to ask, bro, when you can come and ask them yourself, you waste man. Like, what the fuck, bro? Get out your feelings, you little bitch. Like, come be the face, bro. Like, come forward and be yourself, you little bitch. There's nothing that's happened to Ash is about. Ash is about. A man said stop cracking out on live. Like, Math just goes into defense mode straight away, you know, he's a funny guy. Stop cracking out on live. He just wants to seem like the bigger person straight away. You know what I'm trying to say? But, you know, when you're not the man, you can't be in control, and that's what he doesn't know. Like, when you're just not the man. Like, when you haven't got the structure, the backing, the body of the man, you can't be the man. Like, allow the man to just play your position. If you're a waste man, just live your life.
This showed a really unprofessional side to both people, to be honest, where they're using their business conflicts and making it public, which was not a real good move for fans. I'm sure fans were not happy about that. Both of the Lotto Boys have expressed openly in interviews with DJDUBL, a really good interview, go check that one out too, where they express they have coped with depression and anxiety, both of them equally. But this was in February when Lucas had made this speech. A couple of days ago, Ash has dropped his new solo track called Audience on GRM Daily, where he goes by the name of Lotto Ash. Lucas does not feature in that track on its own. He expresses in that track, he says Big Math cheated with his girlfriend, and also sends several other shots trying to explain the story.
Can do to all these pricks I oppose. Just imagine what I did when pleasing my ex in the past. Then imagine what she did when she was cheating with Math.
From what I'm hearing, Lucas is actually taking a little bit of time off at the minute, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with Lucas, if anybody knows or they've seen him about, because his Instagram has been deleted apparently, so I'm not too sure what's going on with Lucas, but from what I've heard, he's taking a bit of time out. Ash has capitalised, and Ash is using this time to express his point of view. He's also got a track dropping with Mist as well, which is coming up real shortly, so that is bound to be a success. Two Birmingham rappers, two of the biggest Birmingham groups at the minute, collaborating to do it. But again, Lucas, from what I can see, is not in the video, so I'm assuming again that Lucas is taking a bit of time off. But I hope that this doesn't separate them at all, because I know they're very tight together, with Ash getting a bit more exposure right now, because at the end of the day they've been very quiet throughout 2018. On the release of Ash's Audience freestyle, Big Math responded almost immediately on Twitter. He went on a Twitter rampage where he just put up a load of tweets, starting off along the lines of, have you realised since our breakup, not once have I tried to defame your character or sneak any negativity at you. Even in my interview, I only spoke good of you. And then he says that they tried to break him, but they haven't. And then he says, lol, you just explained yourself on a track, dum dum. The next tweet was, now you got an audience, what's your purpose? Ash, or should we bring Jasmine to light? Should we get her to explain why you two really broke up? So that's him saying that the reasons as to why he said he cheated with his girl are not correct, so Big Math is denying that. You blame me for all your insecurities. Thank you for doing the freestyle. At least I know what we built was built off fake love, which makes it a lot easier to lose you guys. Your first record came out in February 2016. Your career took off in 2016. We broke up in 2018. Before that, we had no relationship. It's sad to see you launch a solo career and use this as your controversy point. I know I taught you how to play chess, but that is low dog dog level shit. In order to recreate, we have to destroy, unfortunately. Crazy, this guy tried to say I slept with his girl in a freestyle. Bro, that was in January 2016. You wasn't even my artist at them times. I had no idea she was your girl. But that was a lot to say about you waited 2 years to say that and get me in checkmate. Why didn't you mention in your freestyle how you eventually signed to me months down the line? I noticed she was in your life and I told you what had happened. So yes, so Math has basically said that he's done absolutely nothing wrong. They've just totally took it all out of context and he is basically the victim. So it's become a really messy situation, and it's really sad, to be honest, because a lot of lessons can be learned from this, because when you go into business with friends, or you need to understand that these are the problems that can happen. Money gets in the way, fame gets in the way, and also women can get in the way. No offense, it's the vice versa as well, women with men. But it's just really upsetting to see their careers actually physically affected by this breakup, and also from what they've said in their interviews, their mental health. So it's just really sad. And with Math, it's like you'd have to go and listen to the interview yourself. He claims that it's everybody in the group that has a problem with him, but he had a problem with no one. So I find it unlikely that he'd done nothing wrong along the way. That for me seems unrealistic, due to the fact that I think everybody made mistakes in the group in their own way. But can Lotto Boys make this a success? I hope so. I hope they come back even stronger. I'm not sure about this doing solo tracks and being able to maintain the Lotto Boys individually and together. That's a different kettle of fish. It takes a lot of work and effort to do that, because say for example one of you is more successful in their solo tracks, that may create a bit of upset, which I hope it doesn't. So I'd love to hear what people have to say on this. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. The Scarcity Studios YouTube channel.